Welcome to UWS. With us here today is Graeme Mathie-Ayr United Football Club's Managing Director. He is talking all things new and upcoming with the club. Welcome, Graeme, to the studio.
Thanks, man. It's great to see you. Thanks for having us along.
Thanks for coming along. And I think we'll just get straight into it. Tell me about the recent funds raised by the club. The £60,000.
Yeah, so it was the Ayr Youth Player Fund. I've been going for a number of years now. They've actually given over £250,000 in support or donations since they started, which is an unbelievable amount of money. And essentially, supporters raise money that can only be used to sign footballers. We've found it's been really popular from people who are overseas who can't contribute with season tickets or coming along to matches and various things like that.
The fund has gone up. The fan donations have significantly risen the past year.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
That's right. So we've tried to work with the Player Fund on behalf of the club just to help them to do a number of things. So we donated strips at the end of last season. We got the players to sign them and we auctioned them off, and that raised a lot of money. We did two things this year. Michael Moffat had a testimonial and Frankie Musonda represented Zambia in the African Cup of Nations. So our kit partners O'Neill's did a bespoke kit for both of these events, and again we sold them to supporters and half of the money went to the Player Fund. So there's been a number of things that's kind of helped to do that.
So the people, fans, local fans and round the world fans must be feeling more engaged with the club, and I suppose that's showing ticket sales are also up.
Yeah, they are. So I mean, I'd like to think that that's the case. You know, we've worked really hard on our communication with the fans, and it's undoubtedly an area we would still love to improve and do better. But so, for example, the Youth Player Fund members are now, their names are on the third strip this year. So again, O'Neill's were able to design it. That 250 people's names were in the design of the kit the players wear on a match day, which is exciting. But you're right. You know, ticket sales have been up. Season ticket numbers are up pretty significantly over the last couple of seasons as well, and we're really hoping that there's more growth in that with the new stand coming on board this summer too.
And you've been making a real effort to engage with the juniors and youths in the community, haven't you? So tell me a bit more about that.
Yeah, so there's a couple of ways that we do it. So our kind of delivery partner, if you like, the club's delivery partner is the Academy and the Community Foundation that operate as a separate trust. They were awarded a silver medal by UEFA this year for some of their work in grassroots programmes, which is an unbelievable accolade actually for a provincial club in the second tier in Scotland. Marseille were the winner, so it just gives you an idea of the kind of standard, the calibre of clubs that they were up against. But you're right, you know, we've done a number of sort of partnerships over the last couple of years, and the rugby club's been one of them. We had a Santa Dash just before Christmas where we had people of all ages running from Millbrae to Somerset. And
you've been responsible for coordinating those partnerships, haven't you, and really driving those. Is that right?
Yeah, so there's myself and a number of colleagues. I'm giving examples. So the kind of Santa Dash, myself and Brian Wilson spoke about it. I mentioned it in a staff meeting, and my stadium manager Roy Proven needs to go and develop some sort of operational plan and safety certificate to make sure that we can do it safely and get it done. So I drag a lot of people along with us into these conversations, but the staff have been great and really bought into what we're trying to do.
And tell me a bit more about the work you're doing in schools and youth teams and sort of local, or what you're planning to do with local children.
Yeah, so biggest partnership I think we've probably had with South Ayrshire Council's Education Department, who have been brilliant with us. Lindsay McRoberts that runs it as the Director of Education has been really supportive. So we've been the title sponsor this year of South Ayrshire Reads, which is the council's kind of literacy programme, and it's seen a number of our players go into schools and read stories to primary school children. And in some instances, the kids have read stories to our players because they're probably better versed to be able to do it. But that's been great. And actually this Saturday against Queen's Park, we're going to have a bit of a day to celebrate that. We're going to put out a lot of information about it and have the kids kind of doing a bit of a takeover where they'll be stadium announcer for the day. They'll do a little bit of commentary on Ayr United TV and things like that.
So they're going to be doing that on Saturday?
Yep.
Oh, right, okay. So how does that work on the day?
Yeah, don't know. We've not done it before, so it'll be good fun, I'm sure. But no, it's two things. It's really to get them along and show our thanks to them for engaging with us when we've been part of this programme, but hopefully give them some really interesting experiences. And again, just probably allowing them to understand that reading isn't always sitting at home with a book. You know, it's things that people need to do day in, day out, and all environments to help them do their job.
How many are you expecting to take part in that?
So there's 16, so there's 8 partner schools in the first block. We're inviting 2 children from each school, and that will be the first time that we've ever done something like this, so, which will be great.
Brilliant.
But touching on that as well, the kind of school side, so we've had a youth board this year for the first time. which was again, you know, Lindsay McRoberts' idea from education. So secondary school children in 4th year have been part of that, and they've been exceptional, helped us with a number of events.
What are their contributions?
So they've all come up with different ideas, and we've actually put them under big pressure. So we made them interview in front of myself, the chairman, and Tracy McTrusty, who's our company secretary, and they all just came with a totally different idea for how we can do things going forward. One of them came up with the idea of doing half-time entertainment, which we do every week now. Trying to think, one of them talked about being able to make the club more accessible for people that have got sensory issues. So we brought Aoife's bus down to a match day and did things like that. Somebody else spoke about it'd be difficult for people to afford a mascot package. So for one of the games, we invited people to apply and gave it away free of charge. So, but they've been exceptional at coming up with different ideas. And the last one that we're going to do, two of the girls want to see more girls participate in football. So we're going to help them organise a tournament in conjunction with the local primary school football reps to do that in the summer.
And I take it, are the girls' teams on the rise locally? Are you finding that they've all got local girls' teams?
Big time. I mean, my daughter plays, and if I think back even 10, 15 years, I think the number of clubs there are and the number of girls that play in those clubs is massively risen. And even speaking to South Ayrshire kind of football development team, you know, they're saying that South Ayrshire's got one of the biggest participation in schools of girls in the whole of Scotland, so which is great, and we'd love to tap into that more, encourage it.
Let's talk about some of the infrastructure that's and the building works that have been taking place at the club. Tell me more about the investment there and what that's meant for the club.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I can put too fine a point on this, Amanda, but David Smith coming in as the chairman has been a huge catalyst for change at Ayr United. He took over the club 3 years ago, and part of the reason I wanted to come and join what they were doing was he was so clear in what he was going to do. He had a clear vision to build 3 things. One was the hub, which he did within a year of owning the club. So supporters bar for match days, which is used as a kind of community space during the week for a number of different projects. New club shopping, new offices for the staff. And anybody that was at Somerset Park before knows that I was kind of overtaken from Portakabin City, which was kind of temporary buildings with holes in the floor latterly.
So he's came in, he's had these ideas, and he's executed them clearly.
Absolutely. So that was one that he did. The next one was to redevelop the car park, which again, anybody who's ever been to Somerset knows it used to look like the kind of surface of the moon up until recently. So tarmac that, which wasn't an insignificant amount of money, and just makes the whole place look so much more professional. And then the biggest piece of infrastructure he's doing is a North Stand, which again will be the first time anything's changed at Somerset Park inside the stadium for about 100 years. So, and that's going to open in the summer. So we're really excited about that.
Thank you so much. And I suppose we were talking about ticket sales and obviously the engagement with the community and fans outside. How much has Scott Brown had to do with the excitement at the club in this last season?
Yeah, I mean, I'd probably link that back a little bit to sort of culture and where we want to be. So what we want to be at United is ambitious. We want to be successful and we want to win. And we want the club to go and achieve things that it's never done before. So David Smith's been really clear. He's kind of doing that because he's building stuff that's never been seen at Somerset. And part of my motivation for coming here was to think, can we put a group of people together that can help a team on a pitch achieve things that haven't been done? And that's basically, Scott epitomises that. So he's absolutely driven in his management career the same way he was as a player. He's got a burning desire to win. He's really clear on the expectations of the players and the staff that are there. And if I'm honest, I was probably a wee bit naive to what interest might come with him, because, you know, press conference when he joined was the great and good of Scottish journalism and Scottish press were there to interview him. Same again before we played Rangers at Ibrox. So, you know, he's clearly a big character. He's clearly really well known. But I've just been really impressed with how he's gone about his job and where he's taken us on the pitch, for sure. And
the player of the week just now is Fraser Bryden.
Yeah.
And I suppose that links us into how that transfers to local schools and juniors up and coming.
Yeah.
You know, what does that, him sort of having his feet on the ground here, what does that mean for young people coming up?
Yeah, I think it's a few things, Amanda. So I think that is one of the strands that we have. We want to be really good at nurturing players and people. So one of the things I did before I joined the club was look at the number of players that had been at Ayr United as part of their journey. And it's players like Lawrence Shankland. So, and this was long before I got here, but, you know, credits Ayr United has been what turned around his career, helped him probably go to the Euros with Scotland in the summer. Scott McKenna came on loan from Aberdeen and was now, you know, played in the Premier League with Notts Forest and now playing with with Copenhagen and Denmark in the Champions League. So, and again, there's loads more examples like that. The best player, I think, or the player that's got to the highest level that's come all the way through the club's academy was Alan Forrest, who's now playing with Hearts in Europe. And I suppose we've all set ourselves a bit of a challenge to say, how can we get somebody to go beyond that?
Yep.
So Fraser's doing really well at the moment. He's taking a chance under Scott. Great to see him scoring a goal on Saturday. Joined the club when he was 10, came all the way through the academy programme from coming into a kind of community camp in Daly where he stays. So that's a brilliant story for us. He's a massive Ayr United fan, literally come off the terraces and onto the pitch, and you know, we really hope he continues to develop in the way he has done so far.
And Scott's not shying away from using the younger ones, is he, and getting them up to the first team?
Yeah, so even today in training, you know, he likes to work 11v11 a lot, so sometimes we don't have enough players to do that, just with injuries and various things, but you know, no hesitation in getting a couple of 15-year-olds into training today. He's seen them a couple of times, he thinks they've got some potential and wants to expose them to that environment young, which is brilliant. So, and I think, as you say, I've no doubt for others in the academy it gives them a thought that they could be next, and I'm hoping that for people who are in the local community that have a choice of which academy to join, that becomes an attractive one to come to Ayr United, because you know they'll get a chance to progress.
And the Ayr United Player Fund, this £60,000 that you are going to accumulate by the end of this season, where is that going to go?
So it's ring-fenced to only be spent on the player budget, and that's something that they wanted the supporters to have an opportunity to directly impact what happened on the pitch. So if I think back, I think actually Lauren Shanklin was signed using that money that they brought in many moons ago. We signed Kerr McInroy as well using that fund. You know, Logan Chalmers is another player that fund helped contribute to, and we genuinely couldn't sign the number of players and the quality of players that we're doing at the moment if that money wasn't coming in. So hugely appreciated.
Great, thank you very much for your time.
It's been great speaking to you, thanks very much.
Thanks for speaking with us. I'm afraid that's all we have time for today. Join us next time at UWS.